Good evening, everyone. How you doing this evening? I guess you're surprised to see me again so soon. Well, I just woke up well, I didn't just wake up, but I had myself a chicken pot pie, and now I'm making what I call a peach dump dumpling peach pie. But anyway, I used the biscuits that I had shown. You know, the Hawaiian biscuits. They're in the layers. I forgot what they call them. But anyway, they're old grands or something like that by Pillsbury. And so I decided to try that because, oh boy, I'm on my other tripod, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me for the night. And yesterday, let me tell you what a day I had. That's why I never got back up here to talk to you. My ride, first of all, was late coming. And then when they came, no, they came pretty early the first time, but they sent the wrong car. I don't know why they keep doing that. I think they got some new people up there. And they sent me like the regular car, regular transportation car. And I needed, one for my scooter the wheelchair accessory. And I could not believe it. They were on time. I'll say I had to wait about 5 minutes for that first ride. But that second ride, I had to wait like 30 minutes. And I called them back, where is my ride? And I had already had my time scheduled to return trip. I think I had put down 12:30. And so when they finally came, and then the driver, this is a different car. Well, it really wasn't a different car. I had seen one like this before. But, the wheelchair rolls up in. It's like a big, what do you call it? Not an SUV, but what do you call those other cars? Like the transport vehicle. They used to make a lot of them. Some people use them for camping. Something like that. And so what happens is the ramp folds out to you, and I would have to drive my scooter up into it. But I had a big bag. I told them when I called, I said, I got a bag of bottles. And I asked the driver, can you fit these in there? He said, yeah, I can put them in there. But see, I was expecting to have to drive my scooter up in the back of the car. But instead, I had to go like on the side of the car. The side had a ramp. And my scooter is long. And then he tells me, well, you're going to have to sit up here with me. I'm like, what? Ain't no seat up there with you. I'm thinking that this driver want me to sit in his lap. That's crazy, y'all. But I didn't want to think because, like I said, it's the first time I ever ridden in one like this. And so what happened is there's a space there next to the driver's seat, okay? The driver is on his regular left-hand side, and then where the passenger side is, there is a place for a wheelchair, and that he can actually hook it up. You know how they put those straps on there, but in these cases, he's got these things called, that roll out, that you hook it onto your scooter, so your scooter won't go anywhere, which my scooter's stable by itself. It's not like a regular wheelchair. It ain't going to go rolling anywhere just like that. It'll take some jolting for that thing to move. Once it's stable, it's stable. But anyway, they're required by law to, stabilize it. They put the hooks they hook it in the front, and then there's some hooks in the back. Oh, let me check my peach cobbler, y'all, before I get the ranting and I'm raving. Wait a minute here. It's hot in here too, y'all, because I got my oven on. Hey! Look at that, y'all. Can y'all see that? Can you see that? I don't know if you can see. Let me pull this out a little bit. Look at that, y'all. That's my little peach cobbler dump biscuit. Whatever. Whatever it is, got peaches in it. I close my cabinet. I told you, when you cook, I'm going to let it stay in there just a few more. It's ready probably now, but I don't want it to be too gooey. And you know what? I want it to be brown on the bottom. And after I put it in that casserole dish, I was saying I should have put it in. Look at me bringing my towel. Oh, goodness. I got so excited to talk to y'all. I wish I had put it in a one of my, like the square, like a cornbread pan. I wish I had put it in one of those, but I wasn't thinking. So I'm hoping it's brown on the bottom. So I'm going to let it stay in there for maybe 2 more minutes. It's looking good, though. Anyway, let's get back to this car drive that I had. And so, I don't know what the driver wants me to do. I'm confused. He wants me to drive it up in there. I said, well, I can't turn that corner because my scooter is too long. And so what I did, my basket on my scooter just lifts up and off, okay? So I lift that up and off. And then I try to turn the corner. But when I try to turn the corner, I sort of bump into his driver's seat. And so he's going to try to take the scooter up, pick it up just like a piece of something very light. Okay? Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. You could forget about that driver. But, he was a nice guy. He spoke with an accent and, and everything like that. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed his voice, listening to him talk. And so finally, I said, well, you want to drive it? And so he's trying to back it up. So I'm trying to tell him how to do it, with the levers on, you push one way to drive and then another way to back up. I'm trying to tell him how to do that. And then I think I finally told him I have a freewheeling. There's a freewheeling release on the scooter. In other words, you can do it manually. You could just, do what you want to do manually. See, I'm not sitting, at this point, I'm off the scooter, and I'm trying to direct him on how to do it. Anyway, after about 5 minutes out there in front of where I live, and I know the neighbors were peeping out the window, I didn't even care. I felt like, you're looking out here for it. But anyway, we finally got on the road, so I'm sitting up here next to the driver. Oh, brother, I didn't feel comfortable sitting there, but, it was a ride, and I spent most of the time looking out the window. Every now and then he would say something, and I would respond to what he said and stuff like that. And finally we get to Stop and Shop. He wants to know, oh, you want to go to the Redemption Center? I'm saying to myself, do you know that I told you that's a bag full of bottles? Of course I want to go to the Redemption Center. So here we go again. We got to get the scooter out of the car. He's got to unhook it and then try to... And so I told him about the release. Of course, I already told you about the release, that it releases, and so you manually. And he said, okay, this is easy. He talked with a Jamaican, or I don't know what kind of accent it was, but I got a kick to myself. I didn't let him know that, I was enjoying listening to him talk. And so I gave him a $2 tip, y'all. That's all I had. Cash. And I was only going to give him $1. Because I was going to give him a $1 to the one going, on my ride, and $1 to the one back. I think that's pretty good, they're getting paid. But anyway, I try to give him $1 or $2 or something like that, but I just didn't have but $2. And so I gave him the $2, and he appreciated it. I told him I was sorry, that I didn't have more. He said, oh, this is just right. It's just right to, I can't talk like him, y'all. But I'm giving my best shot. And I got to get in here and take my pie out of the stove. Hoping it's brown under the bottom. Hey, we're going to eat good tonight. Well, we already had a pot pie, so, that's why I'm so hyped up. Where's my dish? Oh, here it is. I don't have any oven mitts. I meant to get some when I was at the Dollar Tree. I think I might have one somewhere. I don't know where it's at, though. I wanted to stop into the Dollar Tree yesterday. Oh boy, did I leave it too long? Did I? Did I leave it too long? Did I leave it too long? Hey, look at here, y'all. Look at here. I don't know if I'm showing it correctly, y'all. My lighting, wait a minute. Is that it? That's it. That's all she wrote, y'all. The pencil broke. The only thing I worry about, like I said, is the bottom brown. I don't like no, well, coffee, let's see. Nope, it's not brown on the bottom. Oh, man. Dad nabbit. Oh, I don't know what to do about that, y'all, unless when I get through talking to you, I'm going to see if I can flip that bad boy over. Okay? Because it's not really, I ain't got my porch light on. It's not juicy. Because I ain't put no juice in it. I just use the syrup from the peaches. And I sprinkled a little flour in it, try to thicken it up. And I put a little milk, just regular whole milk on it. Just give it a little pizzazz, so to speak. And I didn't have any lemon or nothing like that. But I wanted something sweet, but not too sweet. I don't like sweet, especially on a fruit pie. But anyway, getting back to when I got to the Redemption Center, and I didn't have to wait for a machine. And I had $11.80 in cans in the big bag. I didn't bother to take those, the other bag, because I think, oh, this is a bit much. And so, but I was happy with my $11.80. And I was standing around, I was out there for a long time, because I went into Stop and Shop, did a little shopping, I got a few canned goods, and I think I got a bread, just a little stuff. Hey, it wasn't no big deal. Wasn't nothing to write home to mama about, y'all. And I had to go across the street to Walmart to return the pants that I had bought that was, a little snug. And I wanted them to be a little, looser fit. And so I went across the street, head across that busy street. But they have a walk light there, thank God for that, So it wasn't no problem getting across the street. And then I had to go to Walmart to do that. And I went in there to exchange my pants. And I was going to get some coffee while I was there. That coffee, the can of coffee I told you before? It was $19.99. Well, at Walmart yesterday, that same can of coffee was $22.99. Yes, sir. I left it in Walmart. I came out of Walmart without it, y'all. I said, this is crazy. I didn't even get myself no hazelnut, but I had a little hazelnut, and I still had some coffee. And they had the small can, like the one, the same coffee that I usually drink. I usually drink the decaf. And they had that for $8 and something. I said, either way you slice it, it would still be cheaper to go ahead and buy the big can. And I don't even use the whole can of money. Usually I get it maybe every other month. That's how long it takes me to use that whole can. I don't use a can a month. No, I just drink coffee most of the time in the morning. And very seldom I drink coffee in the evening. Yeah, I like to have coffee in the breakfast. Yeah. And I usually have about 2 cups, which is about 3 scoops I use. But I realize I can narrow that down a little bit too. It doesn't have to be quite as strong. But anyway, after I got ready to go to Walmart, I said, let me call my ride to cancel this ride because they were late picking me up and I felt that I wouldn't have enough time to do what I wanted to do. So I canceled the ride. I said, nice day like today, I don't care. I rode home before. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to get home. But I'd enjoy the scenery, okay? But guess what? When I was riding home, okay, there's an entrance coming off the highway that comes out to the main street. One entrance going in, another entrance coming out. And then on the opposite side where where there's normally, where I would have to cross, the oncoming traffic is turning up another highway, which is, I think is Route 10 or something like that. And traffic is coming and going both ways at the same time. There's no light. no red light. But I had crossed that same street before, that same intersection, should I say, before. And the lights automatically changed, and all four lights from all four directions were red, even though there was no walk sign there. But all those lights, traffic everywhere. Over there stopped, over there stopped, that, when I was at the light. And I couldn't understand how they were able to know that I was at that light and there's no cross light. Now that's the first time. And so I figured the same thing is gonna happen to me this time. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't stop at all. That traffic just kept going, kept going. I mean, there was no lighting up. The captain would just zoom in. There was no way I could cross that street. And there was some, road workers on the other side of the street. And I'm like, how am I going to get over there? I had to go back. Now, I'm already a good ways, under the bridge by this point. I'm almost in the new... in a new city, back into my city altogether. And so, a ways from Stop and Shop from where I was, I know that the trail at Stop and Shop, Stop and Shop is on a strip, okay? It's like a strip mall. And on that same strip mall towards the end is TJ Maxx. I don't know if you remember way back, I don't know how long you've been watching me. But anyway, I had gotten lost and end up there. That was my opening there to get off the trail by TJ Maxx. So I came all the way back where I had originally, almost from where I started from, to get over there to TJ Maxx to get onto the trail. But before that, I got even further lost. I'm looking for the trail because I know the trail has to be over here somewhere. I asked the man. He was sitting out there. I guess he was having his lunch or snack or whatever. And he said, I said, there's a trail. Can I get on a trail down here? He said, yeah, you could get on the trail right down there. I didn't see any way to get on the trail down there. And it was getting like, I was almost feeling like I was in an isolated place, to where there's no people. And, it sort of turned into like residential. But I saw a lady. She was a black lady. She's sitting there. Her car was sitting there. I thought she lived there because there was a house over there across the street. And on the side of the road, I could see the green sign pointing, letting you know this is the bike trail. I'm on the right track as far as I thought. But I just couldn't figure it out. And so I asked her because I thought she lived there. She came over and talked to me. She said she was going to give me her phone number because she wanted to go hiking. She said the reason that she was stopped there, she said because her car was running hot. And me and her had a little conversation because she wanted to know where the back chair was too. And so she just tried to walk down here to show me. I said, my goodness, this lady's very nice. You got to be aware of wolves in sheep's clothing. But I didn't feel threatened by this lady at all. But then who does? You don't feel threatened by certain sweet people. But she was genuinely nice person. She was young. I'll say that she was probably in her late 20s or early 30s, somewhere along there. Very nice. But she never did give me her phone number because even if she had given it to me, I don't know if I would have called her, or not. But I had my cell phone with me at the whole period of time, because, I was going to tell, what's her name, Siri, hey, where am I? As a matter of fact, that's what I should have done, to see if she knew, because Siri knew a lot. Siri just like, goo, Siri knew everything. And, I probably could have asked Siri, where the heck is the beginning of this bike trail at? But I was in the neighborhood, knew I was in the neighborhood. But what I did, I came back out that long way that I was from the main highway. Now, by this time, I got one of my, one of the cells on my scooter has gone out. That means you're getting sort of on a low battery, okay, by this point. But you can't go by that with my scooter because sometimes if you just turn that key off, that thing will light all the way back up. So I wasn't really concerned about that. So I came in back over. I saw TJ Maxx come back, almost back where I started from. And then I go around there. That's where I had gotten on the bike trail before. I got on the bike trail right there, y'all. I was on my way home. I said, thank you, Jesus. All praises be to God that I knew that, particular way. And so I'm riding along. I see a wild turkey. I got scared, y'all. Thought that wild turkey would go get me. But anyway, I saw squirrels. You know what? And they, when you're on the bike trail at this particular stretch, you don't hardly see a lot of people, okay? But what you do see is squirrels, and they got a sign up there tell you not to feed the animal. I said to myself, you got to worry about me feeding the animal because I ain't got nothing to give them anyway. I'm scared of them. And I saw a lot of squirrels. But this was a big turkey, not like the one I seen out there. Not like the one I seen, what they call them, I forgot what they call those turkeys I had seen outside of my house that time. But anyway, I'm going all the way around. I'm humming to myself because I'm happy now. I'm humming and everything. And people were speaking, when I passed people on bikes. I passed people walking the dog. I passed, after a while, you're sort of coming to more people. But, at first, when I first got on there, how to see anybody. You're like in a sort of, I'll say a long block of isolation. You're just there by yourself. Maybe a bike would come from behind you or something like that, riding. He's going in your direction. Or maybe there's a bike that's coming, facing you or something like that every now and then. And then after a while, the traffic sort of speeds up. But it was nothing like it was that last time I was up there. People were actually camping out on the bike trail. They had chairs out there. And I think they were actually living on the bike trail. I said, wow, this place has changed since the last time. I mean, there was guys out there gambling before. And I had, when I saw this group of guys out there gambling on the bike trail, I switched off before I got to them and went, I went to the street and then, carried on my merry way. Went to the main street and carried on my merry way. But I didn't see that yesterday. It was nice riding on the bike trail. And guess who I saw, y'all? Elias. My granddaughter was out there walking. She said she had been walking for 45 minutes. That's the last person I expected to see. The last thing I expected to see somebody that I knew on the bike trail. It was my granddaughter, one that just had the baby. Elias's mama. I said, well, I'll be darned. But she said she was walking. She'd been trying to walk and everything. And matter of fact, I was almost home when I saw her. I was almost home. But I was glad to see her, so I talked to her for a little while, and she knows about my sister-in-law that passed, and she was asking me if I was going to go, I told her, hoping to go. The services are supposed to be on, I think she said Thursday. But anyway, that was my day, y'all. I mean, it was really drama. Partially drama. It was a little bit of a mixture of everything. A little bit happy, a little bit drama, and a little bit I got to get the heck back into Dodge. And on that note, I go with love, and I'll see you again soon.